burning the American flag. They were screaming Allah Akbar.
Rarely have we seen anything like this, and I think you should get a 1-year jail sentence if you do anything to desecrate the American flag.
Yesterday in Washington, D.C., while Benjamin Netanyahu was addressing a joint session of Congress, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas terrorist groups were forming a mob just a couple of blocks away from the Capitol building in front of Union Station, the train station, historic train station in Washington, D.C. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, no, they're just anti-Zionist. They're not anti-Semitic. They're not pro-Hamas. They're not pro-Hamas. Take a look at this. This is one of those lovely protesters flying a terrorist banner. If you're not pro-terrorist, why are you flying a terrorist banner? That is not the Palestinian flag. That is the banner of a radical terrorist group. That's a Hamas, ISIS type banner. And here, burning the American flag. They went up. They didn't even bring their own flag. You know, usually if you want your free speech protected when you do something crappy like this, it's a BYOF situation. You know, at the very least, bring your own flag. But no, these scumbags, they brought down the flag from the flagpole in front of Union Station and then set it on fire. If you don't want to be called pro-Hamas, then maybe when you deface and vandalize public monuments in our capital city, you shouldn't say things like Hamas is coming. That seems pretty pro-Hamasi to me. Doesn't it to you? This is President Trump this morning reacting to the violence that occurred in Washington, D.C., and he begins to speculate on what he would do if this were happening on his watch.
They were screaming Allah Akbar. They had the Palestinian flag. They took the American flag down. They were writing Hamas on the bell outside of Union Station. What does a Donald Trump do if he takes office to these people on the street?
Rarely have we seen anything like this, and I think you should get a 1-year jail sentence if you do anything to desecrate the American flag. Now, people will say, oh, it's unconstitutional. Those are stupid people. Those are stupid people that say that. We have to work in Congress to get a 1-year jail sentence when they're allowed to stomp on the flag and put lighter fluid on the flag and set it afire. And when you're allowed to do that, you get a 1-year jail sentence and you'll never see it again. And all over the world, Putin and President Xi of China, all over the world, they're watching this. Kim Jong-un, he looks at us like we're a bunch of babies. They see that. That wouldn't happen in their countries. It's impossible for that to happen in their country. Where we look so bad to the world. That was a disgraceful display yesterday.
Really good reactions there. And again, especially about what he would do to these Hamas protesters were he president, and some pretty good insights into what's going on in the Israel-Gaza war. Meantime, you saw the imagery there during the Fox hit of the American flag being taken down and burned and then raising the Palestinian flag. I mean, that's the sign of a conquering nation looking to conquer another. Lower their flag and raise ours. It's pretty clear what they're telling us. We should listen to what they're telling us. And you've seen the images of the burning flag, but I want you to see it and listen as they scream Allahu Akbar, burning the American flag.
Burn that shit! 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 Allah! Burn that shit! Burn that shit! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
You heard what they were chanting. First, burn that shit, and then Allahu Akbar. And also, the little dance this guy does after he burns the American flag, he then parades around lifting up another flag, the Palestinian flag. That is, the message is clear. Defeat America, so that Palestine, whatever that is, can be victorious. And then there was an attempt by one person, a regular Joe who happened to be leaving Union Station, I guess, after his commute. I'm told it's a lawyer trying to save what was left of this burnt American flag. Watch what happened.
He got a piece of it. Try to take the American flag that was burning.
They chased him down and they tried to harm the man who saved the American flag. Later on in the evening, after this scene played out, a handful of members of Congress, all Republicans, made their way to this flagpole in front of Union Station and restored Old Glory to its rightful place. Dan Crenshaw, a retired Navy SEAL who lost his eye for this nation in combat, he joined this contingent, including led by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Here's what that imagery looked like. You know, it's funny. I mentioned that Democrats did not come and join them. Why not? There's nothing stopping Democrats from going over there, but they didn't. There's Dan Crenshaw doing his part to hoist the flag. But why didn't a Democrat join them? Does that make any sense to you? What's the harm? Unless they don't want to be associated with taking down a Palestinian flag and raising an American flag. And if that's the case, why would they not want to be associated with that? I mean, they are members of the House of Representatives for the United States of America, aren't they? They keep telling us that their political positions are not unpatriotic and they're not against our country. They just want to see our country improve. By pointing out all of our country's flaws, that actually shows how patriotic they are. Well, if that's the case, why didn't they join their Republican colleagues in a sign of unity on something that we should be able to agree on? Taking down a foreign flag that had been put up on an American flagpole and restoring the American flag, but they didn't. They didn't. Maybe because, well, they would have had to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we know how they feel about that.
Nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Woo! Yeah!
Maybe also they didn't want to have to wear a tie. You know, your keffiyeh gets in the way when you're putting your hand over your heart, and we don't want that. One other little amusing moment from the protest, by the way. I really did love this. There was an individual interviewing some of the protesters to find out who they are, what they're all about. And, well, I'll just let this moment unfold.
Something I've been wondering about, I got to ask, it's the middle of the day on Wednesday. Do you have a job?
I do. Wednesdays, I have some flexibility, and during the day, I'm able to go do stuff. I got stuff I gotta get do.
We leave our job because
tomorrow.
Our blood is not more precious than the resident children. That no salary, no slave wage is enough to stop me from actually raising my goddamn voice.
Do you have a job?
Yeah, I have two.
Yeah, I agree. And they ask the same question even when it's a Sunday. So.
Are you?
Oh no, just because today's Wednesday, I'm just curious what people do.
And you do think that we don't work weekends? I'm sorry.
Why are you yelling?
Oh, because you are asking loaded questions to us. You're trying to paint us a picture that we're like unworking Americans. We don't do shit. Apparently, we are somehow villainized. This happened at Occupy Wall Street. Every time we try to do something,
I didn't say any of that. Though.
Yeah, you did. You said.
I said, do you have a job? Maybe you're projecting something. I don't know.
So yeah, he has a job. I have a job. I imagine most of us have jobs, but they're not 24/7. So
gotcha.
We do find time to do other things.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's revealing because if you that insane lunatic with the way too tight pair of pink shorts actually sort of gave away the story there, because he said, you guys asked the same question during Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street, for those of you who don't know, happened in 2011 and 2012. And it was the same old dirtbag behaviors where they took up similar to the Hamas protests, where they encamped themselves in college campuses. Well, they encamped themselves in Washington, D.C. on Wall Street, but they did it all around the country, wherever the main downtown financial district was. And they lived there in tents, and they were trying to talk about income inequality and everything. So he just said, oh, you're asking us, we have jobs. You're implying something. You're implying something. Yes, in fact, I do have a job. And you were doing this during Occupy Wall Street. And now we know. Now we know. Yeah, he has a job. This is his job. This is his job. He's been doing it since 2012 during Occupy. This is what he gets paid to do. Absolutely. Hey, Soros is making it rain, baby. It's nice work if you can get it. Yeah, he's got a job. That's definitely his job. The other guy, I'm not sure if he's a professional protester. He looks more like a federal worker to me, especially when he told us that he had flex days on Wednesdays. That tells me federal worker, maybe SEIU. You know, Democrats.